This is episode 9, my transition. I'm going to carry on talking about from where I left off last week. My name is Jessica Madden. On my channel here on YouTube, I help people raise their awareness and become very successful as a result. I share the amazing tips and great lessons which I picked up throughout my life, and the amazing tips and great lessons which I pick up every single day of my life. Reminding you again that the 100th subscriber to my channel here on YouTube, press that subscribe button and be the 100th subscriber, and I will ship out to you a free gift, and the shipping, that will also be for free. Without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 9, my transition. Last week I left off and I said that I couldn't carry on going to that therapist because I moved location. Now that therapist, as I described last week, was very helpful, very validating, and she gave me an insight into the concept that transgender people now have a place to live in this world, and they're allowed to be, and their only alternative is not death anymore. I was quite pleased to hear that, and it was really affirming. But since I moved location and I had no access to that therapist any longer, I couldn't hear those important messages I had to hear. And so I fell back into old ways. I fell back into default, and I wanted to really change my gender identity to be congruent with the people around me and to be congruent with my external appearance. So I fell back into default, and I hence went to a conversion therapist. To my great misfortune, I went to a conversion therapist. Now, I think it's worth noting that there is the famous law of attraction, which is absolutely true. That which where you put your energy, that which where you invest your energy, your interest, that's where your brain will take you. That's where your brain will quite literally put you on your journey. Now, that is not to excuse a con therapist. Conversion therapists are better defined as con therapists. And conversion therapists are usually dealing with their own incongruence. They use victims. Nonetheless, I take back and own my identity. I take back and own my life at that point in time. I take back and I repossess my decisions. Yes, I made a decision to go to a conversion therapist. I made a decision to go to a doctor who believes in con therapy. That was a decision I made. And I take back and I acquire that back. By doing this, I do an amazing thing. And I've spoken about this many times in previous videos. And that is that when I take back and remind people and I reaffirm that I had control in the past, I effectively allow the future to become mine. I effectively feel more in control, and I'm not bitter and I'm not angry at anybody from my past. So whilst con therapists do have an agenda and they do have an incongruence, which they don't mind using people in order to substantiate, in order to manipulate them, in order to feel better within their own skin. I'll never forget that con therapist used to tell me that his sister's very weak, but he's very strong because he's a man. He's trying very hard to affirm his gender identity. But I'm not going to go into it today because, like I said, this is about my journey, my means of possessing and acquiring that which was always mine, and that is my life, my decision. So the law of attraction quite literally works that way. That which you put energy into, that is where your brain, your life will take you. That's quite literally how it works. And so it was my decision to go and see a conversion therapist. The inner turmoil started gaining track again. The false hopes were finally realized as nothing but an illusion. That's the best way for me to put it. The false hopes was now understood to be nothing but an illusion. At this point, I was still somehow keeping it all together. I was going to calm therapy. I was keeping it all together. I was hoping in something which I thought had hope. But within a few months, that all dissipated. I stopped going to this conversion therapist, and I now started trying to drown myself every time I had a bath. I remember taking baths, and there was nothing I could do. I was just like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. That constant turmoil was just looming over me. And I had nowhere to turn. I tried a religious doctor. I tried a calm therapist. And now I came to the realization that I had nowhere to turn. That's the only direction they're going to take me in. I had nowhere to turn. I came to terms with the fact that who I am is not alterable. You can't change who you are. It's like telling a person not to have two hands or not to have a body. You can't change what your body is. Even if a therapist tells you could, a calm therapist tells you could, and he does that because he's struggling with his own incongruence. Doesn't make a difference what his issue is, it's not going to help you. And so I had no one to turn to. I remember I would purposely walk in the middle of the street, hoping I'll be hit by a car or by a passing car or truck. I used to do that, and I did that for quite a while, for a lot longer than a year. But God was protecting me. Cars and trucks just moved out of my way, and they did not hit me. Now, I think it's a bit selfish of me to have gone in front of cars and trucks, because you want to kill yourself? Why make somebody else liable for it as well? So I think it was a bit selfish of me. And I do think it's a bit selfish to walk in front of a car or a truck. Because, okay, this is just my opinion. Obviously, you come to a place of doom and gloom and you have no energy to take yourself anywhere else. And it's your only way out of your predicament. You're not going to start thinking about how the truck driver or the car driver is going to feel. You just can't. But it's just me thinking about it in hindsight. I feel like it was selfish of me. Like I said, God was protecting me. I tried hundreds of times to commit suicide. It didn't work because God was protecting me. I carried on living a double life. The two lives simply never mixed. The people in my life had no idea what I was experiencing. Quite literally. And I've spoken about this in last week's episode as well. Episode 8 as well. I spoke about the fact that the people in my life had no idea what I was contending with, what I was dealing with. That is not to say that I didn't try every so often to sort of talk about it in an understanding way. And obviously, people have their own issues. People have their own concept of life. People want to live for a community. People want to live for their family. People want to live for their neighbors. And that's not my business to judge. It's really not my business to judge. We shouldn't be judging anybody. Like I talk about on my videos, we shouldn't be judging anybody else. But I'm just giving you the situation and the raw facts. And that is that I had nowhere to turn. Next week's episode is episode 10. And that's the last. Next week's episode is the last episode on this topic. I might put out more episodes with a different name. I want to give it a more positive name, a positive future, because I'm building a positive future, as you can see in my videos here. I might do that. I'm not sure yet. It depends on the feedback I get. What do you think about today's episode? And what are your opinions about it? I want to hear your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy this video? Please put that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And if you don't mind, and you're capable of doing it, you don't mind doing it, why not? Feel free to share away on social media, on WhatsApp, on Reddit, on Snapchat, only if you're capable of doing it. In other words, you know you could do it on your Facebook page, on your Snapchat page, or whatever it's called. You know, the people around there won't mind. Why not? Feel free to do it. It is my greatest of pleasure for you to do it if you could do it and you're able to do it. And I wish you lots of love, and I wish you high frequency today and high vibes. I look forward to seeing you in my next episode and in my next video. Have a nice day. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great weekend and smile away because good times are coming.